Hey guys, it's Adina with LiveFit, and I am here to give you an explanation of the information that you have received through your InBody Composition test. Now, there's a lot of great stuff on here to learn. There's typically 4 main things that I point out to everybody based on one of these, and you're welcome to take one of these home with you. All right, so if you look at the very top, you'll see your ID number, which is your cell phone number, your height, your weight, your height, your age, female, the date and the time that you took this test. So if you have several of these, you remember by the date. All right, so the first section is your body composition analysis, and this breaks down your weight, which is so important. It tells you the number behind the scale. It tells you more information about that number. So you've got your total body water, which is how many pounds of liquid, blood, plasma, anything liquid in your body, which is typically what most of your weight is made up of. So if your water weight happens to be up or down based upon the time of the month, sodium intake, or whatever it is, then you'll see a fluctuation in that, which can affect the big number in the scale. The second number is your dry lean mass, and that is how many pounds of muscle you have on your body. So ideally, if this is your beginning InBody, you want that number to be larger for your next one. And how do you do that? Strength training. The next one is body fat mass. It's how many pounds of fat in your body that make up your weight. Now, here's the thing. You have to have fat. That's where your energy comes from. So don't beat yourself up and overanalyze that number. But know this. If you have a certain number on the scale from the beginning of the InBody to the end, that number may not accurately show how many pounds of fat you've lost. So you want to look at body fat mass from the beginning to the end. That's the number you want to see change. The number in the scale, sure, that makes us feel good or not so good, but changing your body fat mass is imperative to getting leaner, and that's what we want to do. If you look to the right of that, you'll see a number that says lean body mass. Now, that is never a number that is an ideal weight for you. It's what your body would be without zero fat, and you can't survive on that. So it would be a horrible, terrible number that you can't survive on. So don't ever use that as an indicator that, or as a goal that you need to be at. But the reason it's on there is because that's what we use to figure out your basal metabolic rate, and that's an important number. Your basal metabolic rate is how many calories your body burns at rest in one day, and that's one of the first things on here. So if you rest all day one day for whatever crazy reason in your life, you happen to be at rest all day, not up and down and actively working out, that's how many calories your body's gonna burn based upon how much muscle you have on your body. So what you wanna do is increase the amount of muscle on your body so your basal metabolic rate goes up and your body naturally burns more calories by itself throughout the day. So what you want to see on your next InBody is a bigger basal metabolic rate, even if it's by 10 calories, it's progress. All right, the next section is your muscle fat analysis, and it shows you below average and above average. And it charts your weight, it charts your skeletal muscle mass and your body fat mass. So in a perfect world, on your next InBody assessment, you want to see that skeletal muscle mass grow. You want that number to grow, which in turn will probably mean that your body fat and your weight will decrease. So those are the important things. If you feel overwhelmed by the numbers on your scale, I tell people focus on this. Don't focus on your pounds or how much body fat percentage you have. Focus on how many calories do I need to be consuming, right? This is minimum. You need at least that, if not more, because activity and movement is what's going to help you get burning more calories than what you're consuming. So the next part, very important, is your obesity analysis, and there's 2 ways of showing what your body fat is. One is the BMI, which is a chart that's used in the medical and even the military community. And it says if I'm 35 years old and I weigh this much, then I'm overweight or not overweight. It gives you a number. It's not always an accurate representation. And the reason I tell you that is if you put somebody like an Olympic or professional athlete who's very lean but has a lot of muscle on them, you're going to show on the BMI scale that they weigh too much and that their body fat percentage is not accurate or is not healthy. But that's because they're looking at a number. You can't look at one number for every individual. But the InBody will look at your body and tell you what your percentage of body fat is. So it's a more accurate representation of your obesity risk in general. So the recommended percentage of body fat ranges for females are 18 to 28%, and that's like the healthy range. For men, it's 10 to 20. All right, so next segment is my favorite, the segmental lean analysis. So it shows you every segment of your body, and you see two numbers. You have a top number and a bottom percentage. So again, one of my favorite things to look at on here, the top number shows your absolute muscle mass in pounds. So it's really cool to look and go, oh, I've got 4.5 pounds of muscle on my left or this many on my right, and you want to see that increase for the next InBody assessment. So that's going to be, if you've never done an InBody before, kind of your base. Like, okay, this is my base. This is what I have to compare to for the next time. Now, the bottom number, we do have some recommendations for you. The bottom number shows if you have enough muscle to support your current weight, and so your goal is to be at or over 100%. Now, this is what I always tell people. It's challenging to get to that 100% for some people, and for some people that it's not. You'll see 120, 130%, and that's great. But we tend to think our legs are way stronger than our upper body, correct? Right. Like most women are like, gosh, my percentages on my arms are bigger than my legs. Well, let me tell you why. Your leg muscles are bigger muscles. You've got your glutes, your quads, your hamstrings. Those are bigger muscles than muscles in your shoulders and your biceps and your back. So you walk around on your legs all day long. Your legs are used to supporting your weight. We don't walk around on our arms all day long. So your legs are used to it, so we have to find different ways to challenge them. So a good goal and a good rule of thumb is to aim for 100% or above for each of those percentages. Then at the very bottom, it will chart your weight up and down. It'll show you your weight, your skeletal muscle mass, and then your percentage of body fat. And the InBody will keep up with the dates, and it will chart it up and down, which is really cool. Now, the last thing that I want to show you is the very top right will say body fat, lean body mass control. It'll show you a number of pounds that it suggests that you need to lose and maybe even gain in muscle. So body fat mass, it may say 20 pounds. Here's the deal. I don't always agree with that number, and most of the time, to be honest, I don't. Because if this says you need to lose 20 pounds and you lose 5, it's not necessarily going to say, okay, you still need to lose 15 pounds, because it's going to reassess the composition of your body and give you a new guideline based upon that. And same thing with muscle. If it says, oh, you're fine, or oh, you need to gain 3 pounds of muscle, well, you could gain 1 pound of muscle, and again, it's going to reassess everything. But here's the most important part. You know where you feel good. Don't let that number affect or hold you back, because you know, maybe you think you know the number on the scale that you feel good, but you also know your clothes and how you move and how you're carrying on in life. That is what shows you, I'm in a good place. That's what I encourage you to go by as well. If you have any questions about this, reach out and let me know. We are always here for you, and I'm thanking you for doing the InBody assessment. It's an awesome way to track your results. Measurement is motivation. Totally. Thanks.